Welcome physics students, and in this short video I want to talk you through an example of an object at rest on an incline, and we're going to solve this for the coefficient of friction between those surfaces. However, there's some values that might be missing, and so we're going to talk through that. This one does not include the mass of the object. Now, sometimes in a few problems you're going to run across the example seems to not have enough information. However, when you solve it out symbolically using the algebra, some of those values might cancel out. And so we're going to see if that happens in this case as we're working through the problem. So to first do this, we need to analyze some of the physics concepts that are related to an object on an incline, and then come back to the idea of coefficient of friction. All right, so we're going to use those things. So to start that analysis, I'm going to start by drawing a free body diagram. And I'm going to start by labeling the force weight. So this is the downwards force of gravity. I also know that there's a force that is acting perpendicular to the surface. So that would be my normal force here. Because it's on an incline, those are not equal to each other. Therefore, there is a component of that normal force, component of the weight force that is equal to the normal force. We're going to call that the perpendicular force. And there's also a component that's directed down the ramp. And so I'll label that as the force parallel. And I'll add that to my drawing here, force parallel. Okay, now if we look carefully at the given information, it does say that the object is at rest on this incline. Therefore, we can come back to the forces that are acting on the object, and we can know for certainty that if we left the picture like it is, where there's a parallel force, that would make the object accelerate down the ramp. However, it's at rest or equilibrium, so there must be an opposing force that's the same size. I'm going to add that in right here on the drawing. And I'm going to label that as the friction force. That is what is equal and opposite, in this case, to that parallel force down the ramp, making sure that it stays at equilibrium. Now remember, our net force equation for equilibrium would look something like this. The force net is equal to 0. There is no acceleration when we're at equilibrium. And now I can use some of these ideas to figure out how the forces are related to each other, knowing that these forces now are set up correctly with my free body diagram. All right. Now let's come back to the identifying those forces. I'm looking at just the horizontal or not the horizontal, but along the ramp, sorry. And I notice that there's two forces acting there. And because the net force is 0, if I take a look at the force parallel and the force of friction, if I subtract those two, I still have to add up, or it has to equal 0. So the only way that's going to happen is if they're the same size. And so I can rewrite this a little bit. I could rewrite this to say that the force of friction, let's keep using red for that. So the force of friction is equal to the force parallel. Okay, now we're kind of getting somewhere because I can symbolically break these forces down and I can find out what these are in my problem. One thing I can do is I can rewrite force of friction, and I can rewrite that as the definition of force of friction, which happens to be the coefficient times the normal force. That's what force of friction equals, right? If I work out the equation, by definition, it's the normal force times the coefficient. That also equals then my force parallel. Okay. What if I look really closely at my drawing here and use that to guide my thinking? I know that that force of parallel has another relationship. It is a component of my gravitational force, and I can use my sines and cosines to figure out that component. In fact, my force parallel would actually look a lot like, let me erase this here, look a lot like the gravitational force times the sine of that angle. All right, I'm just going to leave the angle there because we might not know it, so I'm just going to leave it as theta when we're solving this out symbolically. We can substitute it in later if we need to. All right, well, I now know a little bit more about the equations, but I still don't see where things might cancel out. So I'm going to go one step farther, and I'm going to define what the normal force is. Now remember, in our free body diagram, the normal force, this one right here, is actually equal to the perpendicular force. So I'm going to substitute that in. In fact, I'm going to keep my mu here, and instead of writing Fn, like I have right here, I'm going to substitute in what I know to be the perpendicular force. All right, well, that ends up being the force of gravity times the cosine of theta. That all is still equal to the force of gravity times the sine of theta. So now I have some relationships that I can work with, right? Because notice, I see something on both sides that can cancel, all right? The weight force. And if we remember, weight, force of gravity, is actually equal to m times g. That's where the mass is, but it's going to show up on both sides. So I can actually cancel force of gravity out here. That'll go to 0. That'll go to 0. And I can cancel it out on both sides because it's the same exact values, m times g. Now what I'm left with is a relationship for coefficient, where the coefficient times the cosine of theta is equal to the sine of theta. Once again, I can simplify this even farther, and I can say the coefficient is equal to the sine of the angle divided by the cosine of the angle. Now I can substitute back in my angle, and I can take the sine of 15 degrees divided by the cosine of 15 degrees, and just like we've solved this out before, using that angle of 15 degrees for our ramp, we get a coefficient of 0.267. I can get to the same answer. In this case, though, I can do it without knowing the mass of the block. Once again, I could do that because I set up the equations for net force at equilibrium equaling 0. Substituting in what I know about each of those forces, redefining them based on their roles in the drawing and on my free body diagram, I was then able to simplify and solve for the coefficient without the mass. Hopefully this tutorial helps. Thanks and have a great day.